Welcome back. We're going to jump right into it with George Martorano, and we're going to go right into where we left off last segment on Nicky Scarfo. But before Nicky Scarfo, there was Philip Tester. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well,
I got a question real quick. Hold on 1 second. Which one of the testers, wasn't one of them gay?
yeah.
It was. Okay.
Which one of the testers was gay?
The problem is, Philip's son was named Sal, and the gay guy was named Sal.
Oh.
And I was there when when they were. Philip says, "We can't have that because they think my son's gay, so we got to kill him." That was his nephew. It's a true story.
I'm going to kill his nephew.
I'm gonna
Unbelievable.
kill him, and I was there when the father. Forget the father's name. Got down on his hands and knees in front of the top echelon, hands and knees, and begged not to kill him.
Wow.
I was there.
Wow.
All right, so let's get into...
And they didn't kill him. Let's clarify. They did not kill him because he was gay.
Philip gave him a pass, but I knew him all my life. I mean, but he was gay. What are you going to do?
But that's dangerous in that life.
Back then.
He always had a job. You know, he was just a nice gay guy. But he had the same name. And Salvi had a few incidents where he thought he was gay. Salvi was knocking guys out, every week.
So when Angelo Bruno dies, at that, who took over?
Well, New York made
Philip.
Boss.
Okay.
Very, very good man. Very good family man. Great wife. Great son. Great daughter.
So he was running
man.
the Philly mob.
He's running now, and only lasted a year.
How?
Well, supposedly, I don't know exactly the people involved, but he was blown up with a nail bomb and died horrifically. I mean,
Really?
Suffered all night. I mean, I was waist down.
Did they
was
find out
shredded.
who did it?
No, not
Ever?
really. But you got to remember, when a boss gets killed within a short time, a lot of guys get killed, and that happened with my godfather. Short time, a lot of guys get killed, and then after, I don't know who did it. And then Philip, same thing. He gets killed, and a lot of guys get killed. So how stupid could you be? You know you can't kill a boss without repercussions. I mean, it was just so, it didn't make sense.
And then who comes in to take
After
over?
them, the Mad Hatter, Nicky Scarfo, who I knew all my life. When Philip became the boss, Philip didn't want to run to New York. Ange used to go to New York. I used to drive him when I was a kid. He used to go to New York twice a month. My father, Paul Castellano, Carlo Gambino, I knew them all. My father drove. So when Phil come the boss, he didn't want to go to New York. So he used to send Nicky
Okay.
go over there and get what he wanted to relay, and he gave a relay back. And I cannot tell how many times we would sneak around the city in cars, and then finally we thought it was right. We put Nicky in a trunk, and we go to New York.
And just to clarify, we're referring to little Nicky Scarfo.
Yeah, little Scar. We used to put him in the trunk. I mean, how many times me and Salvi and other Joe. So we would try to pull over in about 20, 30 minutes, let him out of the trunk. And he'd be in there as soon as the hair be sticking up. But that's how we had to get out of the city not to be seen, and we put him in the trunk. And he would go see the Chin, and they go back and forth.
Now, how did he run the family for how?
Well, anyway, when poor Philip gets killed, New York was so disgusted with the Philly mob. They said, what the frick's the matter with you people?
What's going on?
It's only a boss a year he kills. So basically, Nicky got it in default.
Do you think Nicky had anything to do?
Just New York was so disgusted with Philly. The only guy in contact was Nicky, so they gave it to Nicky. Nicky got it by default.
Okay.
They should have looked at it a little more. Nicky was a Mad Hatter.
Who do you think should have got it?
My father should have got it. People that were more reasonable. Nicky was just a mad hatter. He just, I had a big beef with him in Atlanta. Big beef with him.
Tell us about that, because he was a bit of a maniac. Nicky Scarfo is a bit of a maniac.
He's just Jekyll and Hyde. You know, one in Italian we call it, what's the name? Ragazzo Gab.
Yeah.
You flip. One day you're good, the next day you're a madman. And I had a big beef with him in Atlanta just for that. And
he turned.
Oh, he put a contract out on me in Atlanta, but he didn't know I had more power than him because I did time in Marion, Illinois. Worst prison known to man.
That's where Gotti was.
Yeah, and I was the first mob-related guy ever to enter Marion. Mm-hmm. And there's only 370 crazy people. I mean, crazy people. And I had more time than them. I had life, no parole. A lot of these guys had life, but when you have a regular life sentence in the Fed system, you're eligible to go to the parole board in 10 years. That doesn't mean you're going to get anything.
Right.
Usually these guys, these killers, they go and they give them a 10-year hit. That means they can't come back for 10, 20 years. I couldn't even get in the room because I had life, no parole. And so getting back to Nicky in Atlanta, I just wanted, because he killed someone very dear to me for no reason. He ordered his death, I imagine. I don't know who killed the guy, but the guy's dead. So we got into it real bad, but he didn't know how to hold his power from Marion. And the Aryan Brotherhood and the Mexican Mafia I was very close with.
So you got it. Let me get this right. You got into it with him in prison?
In Atlanta Penitentiary.
Okay. So you got into it. He went to. This is after he went to jail. You got into it with him in prison.
That's so unfortunate.
I've been in jail before him.
I know, but that's so unfortunate. You both come from Philadelphia. You're both Italian. You both should have been united together, and you get into this beef.
Yeah, but I had so much animosity. I've been waiting to give it to him.
Okay.
I've been waiting to tell him off, and I told him off.
And he didn't like it.
Serious New York guys.
And he didn't like it.
I told him off. I called him a liar. It's the worst thing you can do. Call a man's man. I'm a man's man. Don't ever call me a liar because I don't lie.
Right.
But I knew he was lying. He was lying about certain violent incidents.
And he was very violent.
So I found out about it, and my friends found out about it. I never forget that day. We're in the same cell block. I'm on the flats. He's on the second tier, and he's on the bars, standing, just on the rail talk. My guys came in. I mean, serious Aryan Brotherhood guys. Guys I was marrying with, and they pointed right up at him. Pointed right at him. They says, "Listen, we're going to go get him. We're going to throw him off the tier head first." These guys are never getting out. They're gang. One guy, my friend Barry Mills, he ordered over 40 killings in prison. Ordered them.
They don't care when they're not getting out. They don't care.
Well, they did a documentary on him, Barry Mills and T.D. Bingham.
Okay.
They did a documentary on the MA, Mexican Mob. These were guys that I became friends with, and they pointed right up at him. They says, "We're going to go up there and we're going to throw him off the chair, right here now. Just tell us to go." I say, "Can't do that." Right. Even though I hate that son of a gun, we can't do that because then I'm wrong. I'm making you put your hands on an Italian,
right?
And then I'll send a message all across the country. I can't do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're just supposed to be united.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give that order. So, and that's how we were. And then he got a guy, some minion, to drop a note on me to the warden, said I was going to start a mob war.
Nicky said, did Nicky say that, or that just?
The note said it.
Okay.
I get locked up, and that's another whole movie. They put me in Charlie House by myself. It was a cell block they couldn't use anymore. They had A house, B house, and D house. They were remodeled. This was an old cell block with bars, 500 cells.
Wow.
Okay, that's what. I said, "Listen, I ain't going to the hole. The hole was overcrowded. They had 3 guys in the cell." I said, No, I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm not going to live like that till I get shipped, because sometimes it could be 2-3 months before you get shipped. I said, I'm not living like that. I said, I ain't cuffed. You've got to kill me. I ain't going like that. I said, all right, calm down. You want to go to Charlie House?
What's Charlie House? Tell
It was a cell block, 500 men, single cell block, but it was empty.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I wrote a movie script about that. It's called, you can Google it, Casper the Ghost Killings, Atlantic Penitentiary. It says 9 were killed with their throat cuts, but it were 13.
Okay.
Nobody was ever arrested. And as a writer, researcher, I researched for 20 years, and I found out the real story. The 13 guys were all killed with their throat cut.
Who did it?
I know who they did it, but I'll never give the names.
Okay.
Anyway, so they stick me on that cell block, all by myself, right? And it just so happens, in the federal prisons, it's called ACA inspection. Every federal prison is a company out of, the government hires independent company out of Illinois, ACA, and they come and inspect your prison, see if you're doing everything right. And if you pass inspection, the Bureau of Prisons gives that warden extra money in its budget. So it's very important. So this cell block's condemned, and I'm in the cell block by myself, 5 tiers, 500 cells. So the warden came to me. His name was Willie something, tall black guy. He says, "Hey, Martorano, you got ACA inspection?" I says, "Yeah." He said, I know you ain't a rat. I am going to drywall the entrance of the cell block." I said, "What?" He said, "I'm going to drywall. I want a non-existent when they come through." I says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, you're going to have to be here by yourself because there always is a back entrance. I got to drywall that too." I said, "Well, how am I going to eat? What is he going to do? How am I going to shower?" He said, "Listen." So what they did, because I wasn't a rat, they put a little refrigerator in front of the bars where I can reach in and get my food. And I said, I want a phone, too. I want a phone. They said, "All right, we'll give you the phone. We'll put it on certain hours of the day." So I had this refrigerator.
And the
I had
phone.
a phone all by myself. And like I said, I've been trying to write this script. Andrea, I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'll swear to every loved one I know that I seen ghosts.
Oh, wow.
I got up middle of the night to relieve myself.
Wow.
Now, in prison, sounds are very prevalent. Keys, doors, the food cart, sounds are very prevalent. And I got up, and I seen a guy walk past my cell, and he wasn't a guard. It didn't hit me, and I'm saying, "Well, how did he get in there?" So I start yelling. It's an empty cell block, 5 tiers, 500. I'm yelling, "Yo, anybody else in here?" Didn't get an answer. I didn't think nothing of it. A couple nights later, same thing. I said, "Oh my God, I'm seeing ghosts."
It was
I'm seeing
probably the people that were killed in there, right?
Oh, I know. There was 13 guys
So
killed.
that's
I know
what
the
it was,
story.
the
I'm
unsettled-
right now we have a proposal to a movie company on that.
Unsettled
It's
soul.
called Casper the Ghost Killings, ladies and gentlemen. You can Google it.
Wow.
But listen, I'm not superstitious, but I seen ghosts. And that was all kind of that dog, Nicky Scarfo.
Nicky.
But he died the way he's supposed to die.
Okay.
He died, got older, he got ill. And they shipped him to a medical facility. What they should have did to a friend of mine, we did another show, Mark. They shipped him to Butner. There was no room. He died on a gurney in the hallway. That's how he died. That's how he should have died.
Right.
He was just an evil man.
He was a ruthless
Evil.
guy that killed a lot of people.
My mother was in grade school with him.
Yeah.
That's how
Wow.
far back. And when you see, very rare back then, the school gets shut down with a gun. This nut, I think he was in 5th or 6th grade, he took a .22 rifle and he's trying to shoot people on the school. My mother was in the same class with him, and they send my mother home. That's all nuts. He was nuts back then.
So he was a nut job from a little
Yeah.
kid.
He was probably a
Bought a rifle.
sociopath.
Yeah.
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 Sort of a
Who does
22
that?
rifle back then.
A little,
He was a violent kid who eventually grew up to
To
a
be a-
violent
There
mob
was
boss.
another mobster in Philly, very big, powerful, long
Stanford?
sharp. His name was Frank. And we used to just go to dinner now and then. And he says, I'm going to get out. He got wound up getting killed in the war. And he He said, I want to get out of this life. I want to go. He liked horses. I want to go to Arizona and open up a horse farm. He says, because I don't want to be nuts like Nicky. He said, I don't want to be.
He's nuts.
Yeah, he was nuts. And
It was a nut job.
I mean, I knew him all my life, and then he just went
He
bad.
turned on you.
I remember we used to meet at the Diplomat. When I started making good money with the weed, he started making a little money with the construction. He was from Atlantic City, and we would meet down in the Diplomat, and he had this girl. And Diplomat we go there for breakfast at this real nice deli, and the poor girl came down, and she was all disarray. Her hair was all like sticking up. I said, "What's the matter?" He said he taped all the air conditioning. It's summertime in Florida. Air condition would ignite his sinuses.
So why was her hair all sticky?
She was just sleeping in an 80-degree room.
Oh.
Her hair was disarray, and she couldn't wear cologne, and she couldn't wear deodorant.
Oh, he's a nut job.
Yeah.
A nut job.
Yeah. And in prison, a friend of mine was in the cell with him. When he'd get a visit, he used to come in my cell and pick some cologne and deodorant because he couldn't have lotion, nothing in the cell. I said, what do you live with him for?
Wow.
And I said right in front of him, Nicky, what do you want to live with this guy for? He blocks the vent up. No air coming in.
He's a sicko.
He's
He's a sicko.
He's off his hinge. And
That's not surprising.
but he caused a lot of violence that wasn't necessary.
Right. That wasn't necessary.
Wasn't necessary.
Well, we'll close out with that. And thank you for coming on. As always, we love you. We love the stories. Of course, you have so many stories, being 32 plus years in prison.
5 years solitary.
5 years solitary. Thank you so much, George. Thank you to my fan base and all my subscribers. Continue to subscribe. Thank you, Toby, for coming on.
Hit that subscribe button.
Thank you. See you next time. How was that?